Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're going to be doing baked chicken wings, and we're going to be putting that in a honey and sriracha sauce. And so let's get started. I've got very simple ingredients. I've got my oven preheating at 425 degrees, and I have here about 3.5 pounds of chicken wings. I've got the drumette and the wing piece, and let me grab I thought I had tongs here so I can show you. So you can see that the pieces, I usually cut the pieces, I don't have them whole, so it's just easier for eating. So it's going to be very simple recipe. I washed it and then I patted it completely dry, so I've tried to take out as much water from it as possible. But I still like to marinate my chicken. So for all those out there, I can't cook without fresh ginger and garlic. So I'm gonna add my fresh ginger and garlic in here, and that's the only thing that's gonna be the wet ingredient. And then I'm going to sprinkle in some lemon pepper, and this is totally optional. If you don't want to do this, you can just season it the way you like, and I'll show you how I bake it up. I'm just going to sprinkle it with some more salt. And then I have here about half a cup of rice flour and a cup of white flour. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle that in too. And the rice flour is just gonna help it really crisp up. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle it with about a tablespoon of baking powder. And you won't taste this, I promise you. So basically, after that, I'm just going to lightly mix it together. And we'll see, I had 1 cup and half a cup, and if you just add little at a time and see if you need more, sprinkle it with a bit more. So I still feel like I need a little bit more, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more flour in there. And you can use, if you don't want to use the rice flour, go ahead and use all-purpose flour. It's completely fine. Rice flour really crisps things up too, so I like mixing it up. Okay, so when you mix it, it should feel very dry. Like the chicken should be pretty dry. So at this point, I have a tray here, and on the tray I've put a cookie sheet on there, so that will just help the drippings catch on the bottom, and it won't get soggy, but it will get really nice and crispy. So I'm gonna put this in the oven for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna keep on checking it. We're gonna take them out, we're gonna flip them. And while these are gonna be in the oven, we're going to quickly start making the sauce, because I want the sauce to get really messy. I want it to get sticky and gooey. So I kind of want to put it on the stove and kind of want to get rid of the water content in the sriracha and just get it mixed up with the honey and just get really nice and thick. And it's okay if they're touching each other, it's completely fine. They should shrink just a little bit, not too much. All right, I'm gonna take this, put it into my oven. And we'll check back on it in about 25 minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna quickly wash my hand, and then I want to show you what how the sriracha and honey sauce is going to work. This is a very simple recipe, and I love it because really not much to it. Just clean the chicken, marinate it, stick it in the oven, and make the sauce. So for the sauce, I have about a cup of honey in my pot. Now, I know the honey looks really thick, but that's how in winters in Minnesota, we're blessed with the really, really cold, frigid temperatures. My honey just gets really hard, but it's just as good. So in this, I'm going to also add a little bit of fresh ginger and garlic. About half a teaspoon is good enough. And the amount of honey you use, so let's say if you use 1 cup of honey, you want to add 1 cup of sriracha sauce. So I'm just going to eyeball it. And that's about it. I'm not going to add anything else. So I'm going to let this get warmed up. I'm going to put it on low, and I'm just going to let it cook. Now you could, if you wanted to make it even taste much more like there's spices in there, you can also add powder, onion powder if you like. You could also use, instead of fresh, you could use garlic powder if you like, but I like fresh stuff. So and you want to do a taste test. You want to make sure that you've got enough sweetness and enough of the heat so that matches your palate. So, and this sauce also works really well with just adding it into chicken or anything like that. And then you can just shred it up and put it in like sandwiches or wraps. So we'll leave this on the stove. We have our wings in the oven. So in about half an hour, we're gonna come back. I'm gonna show you what they look like. So I got the wings out of the oven. They took about 45 minutes in the oven. I turned them halfway around. And I don't know if you can hear them. They're pretty crispy here. And I've got my honey and sriracha sauce going. But I did a taste test and it's just too spicy for me because, you know, I have so many medical issues. And if I eat this, I'm probably going to choke on you. So I've got the sauce here. So what I'm going to do with this one here is I'm just going to take one and dip it in here. Just like so. And then I have a video on an orange and ginger sauce that I make at home, which everyone is really crazy for, and I make a whole bunch and put it in the refrigerator. So what I'm going to do is for my dinner, I am going to use the orange and ginger sauce. And for my taste test, I'm not going to be able to do the taste test for this one. So I'll do the taste test with the orange and ginger, and I apologize for that, but I just don't want to get sick with having too much spicy stuff. All right, and I'm gonna take this one, just stick this in my orange and ginger sauce. Now put this over here, and then I'll do a taste test for you. And then what I usually like to do is I just like to add just a little bit of sesame seeds on top. It just makes it look really nice. Okay. All right. So now for the taste test. So for the taste test, it's really hot, but it's delicious. I can taste the crunch. Good stuff. I'm sure my mouth is dirty, my hands are dirty, but I'm enjoying it. My camera person is telling me to clean my face, so I should have something on my face. Okay? Good? Okay. But they're super delicious, and I really apologize that I couldn't do the honey and sriracha taste for you guys, because not having a colon makes things really difficult sometimes, and there's a lot of things that I can't have, and when it's extremely spicy, it just doesn't work with me. So I apologize for that, but I made it for everybody else that can have it. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. See you then, friends.